So let me start with Dr. Jackman. What made you become a baby doctor?
I'll answer that question in 1 minute, but I want to go back to something you said that I think is so vitally important. My daughter Amy is graduating from college this year, in May, coming up in a few days really, and she is a product of the Toms River Girls Softball League, and she was fortunate enough to play in college at Rhode Island College, and their team did very well during her time there with a couple division series, NCAA division series rings. But the thing that I wanted to address is that confidence that comes with positive reinforcement. And I've been involved with girls softball for a long time now, and you in particular, I think that you are an outstanding coach, and I don't say that because you're here and you invited me onto your wonderful program. This is totally unrehearsed, and
it is. Thank you.
I just want you to know that I feel like you are a premier coach and have done so many wonderful things for so many girls in this area, and in particular, your ability to coach to a girl's positive reinforcement, confidence building is absolutely huge. And when you talk about the little throws and the 15 and 30 minutes, I so remember with my daughter who's sitting right over there doing just that. And we would throw and we would throw and we would throw, and unfortunately now when we throw, she goes so far away that I can't possibly reach her.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to readdress that one issue.
That's
It's so
good.
important. Why did I want to become a doctor?
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. But it's an interesting story. My sister was very, very ill as a child. She had encephalitis. And once she came home from the hospital, she needed a lot of care at home. And we, at the time, had a general practitioner, Arthur Barnabas Cuddy was his name. He also delivered me and my sister and brother. But the fact of the matter is, he would come to the house, and he would bring his bag, and he went to Tufts Medical School in Boston and had a very bad car accident because he commuted from Providence to Tufts, and it had damaged his leg quite severely, so he walked with a very, very noticeable limp. And he would come to the house, drive up with his big black Cadillac, and I would go out and get his bag and carry his bag in the house. And the thing that was so amazing to me is that when my family saw the doctor come, it was such a relief. It was such a relief. It was almost like a warm, fuzzy blanket was put over everyone. Everyone's so concerned and so worried.
Right.
So that I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that for others.
Yep.
And that was one of the largest motivating factors for me to go to medical school.
And in case anyone doubts the commitment that a doctor has to make, it's absolutely years. I mean, you thought K through 12 was a long time? And let me tell you that I know, because Dr. Jackman does. Doctors continuously train, continuously go to school, and at some point, and you'll help me with the year, but you decided with Dr. Sutherland to start North Dover OGBYN.
OBGYN. You got him almost right.
I got it almost right, you see? I do softball. I don't do doctoring. I wrote it down. I probably should have looked at it right.
Not a problem. Well, it's even more interesting because initially when I went to medical school, I had a grant from the National Health Service Corps. And in the context of that grant, I had to give back time. And when I finished my initial training after medical school and my internship, I actually wanted to do general surgery. That was my first thought as I kind of advanced to that point in time. Up until that point in time, I really thought general practice was what I would like to do.
Right.
Well, I approached the National Health Service Corps and said, could I get a deferral so that I could continue my training to do general surgery? Because I loved anatomy, loved the concept of structure and function. And I'm sure you'll find out more about structure and function with Johnny Marco. But the fact of the matter is they said no. They said, no, you have to go do general practice. So I went to do general practice from my internship training in Michigan to a small town of 1,000 people, Garden City, Missouri. And while I was there in Garden City, I did lots of things as a general practitioner. I was Marcus Welby. I did tonsillectomies, DNCs, delivered babies, worked in the emergency room, triaged patients, sewed up wounds, set bones, because there were no specialists in this very small hospital where I worked. Golden Valley Memorial Hospital. So I really enjoyed the obstetrical part of my practice. I
Right.
enjoyed delivering the babies.
Yep.
And it's almost like you feel like Superman when you help deliver a baby, because you're shaking hands and things are great, and you're really interfacing with someone's family. You
Right.
become part of their family.
Right.
And that just amazed me. And I think it goes along with that initial feeling that I had when I wanted to go to medical school.
Right.
So when I get done with that, I had 2 years to spend there. I approached my lovely wife, Barbara, and said, I think I want to go back into training. And she said, what? And I said, well, I think I want to go back and do obstetrics and gynecology as a specialty area.
Right.
And she said, well, does that mean we have to become paupers again? And I said, well, yes. And she said, how long? And I said, 4 years. And she said, what? And she said, the only thing that we need to do is to become, be driving distance from Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, which
Right.
is where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I come to New Jersey.
Right.
Because I started my residency at Monmouth Medical Center, and that's where I met Dr. Sutherland.
Right.
And together we were chief residents as we matriculated through the program. And he is from this area, La Valette. And he said to me when we were finishing, he said, let's go down to Toms River and start a practice. I said, let's go.
Oh, geez.
And the rest is history.
And the rest
Here
is
I am.
history. And just before I talk to John, is it safe to say you've delivered 1,000 babies, or?
I stopped counting at 1,000, and that was many, many years ago. I can tell you that I delivered 251 babies in 1988. That was 1988.
1988.
And that was, the residency training was 1,000 babies right there.
Wow.
So 1,000 babies, 251, let's see, from 1988 till now,
It's a lot of babies.
there's a lot of babies in there.
A lot of babies. So that's a good job right there. And John, you are a licensed physical therapist, and how did you get started in that?
Well, I grew up here in Toms River and moved here when I was just a year old. My family moved to Toms River. So I actually volunteered at Garden State Rehabilitation Hospital, as it was called then. It's now Health South.
Right.
After high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and my sister worked at Garden State Rehabilitation Hospital. I volunteered in the rehab department, which was the physical therapy department, which is a big gym and all these mats and equipment and wheelchairing all these people in for different problems, from little children and to senior citizens. And I really took a liking to it right away. And as a volunteer, I actually then got a job there just as an aide. And within a year, I said, this is what I want to do. And then I set my sights to go to school to become a physical therapist.
Right.
And then I practiced here in Toms River for almost 25 years. And it went fast.
Yeah.
When I say it went fast, because I currently don't practice as a physical therapist. I still hold my license. I own Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa, which is a franchise that I started 5 years ago.
Right.
And we now have 30 locations around the country, and we're franchised. In fact, we're international. We actually have a location in Canada, and we're building out more there too. So I'm still in healthcare.
Yep.
Massage therapy is a very therapeutic modality that people go for, and I enjoy that practice. My daughter played softball.
Right.
I coached.
Tara.
Now I can attest that he's a great coach, because he was the opposing coach, and we kept those kids running those bases, and it was very competitive. My daughter went on to college, but she didn't play softball.
Right.
But those years of softball were great. I really enjoyed that. My son played Little League baseball, so was involved with that for many years too.
Right.
I myself played baseball in Toms River off of Windsor Avenue in Eastover Little League. So great tradition Toms River has for softball, baseball.
Oh yeah.
So it's
all good stuff, and
it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great program. It's a great insight that you give to the future softball players. The parents need coaching. The parents need a refresher on how and great tips. Just don't just throw a glove on.
Right.
Get them to build confidence.
Correct.
So that's
and you just mentioned something I think is important to mention to everyone. The Toms River Girls Softball League they're going to run a clinic, a special clinic that initially they were just going to do for the ASA travel team coaches, players, and parents. It's actually for the coaches and the parents, and they opened it up to all the coaches in the league. And what they're doing is Positive Coaching Alliance is a group that comes in, and I've talked about this on the show before. They talk about for coaches how to coach players and how to manage parents, for lack of a better word. They probably say it a lot better than I did. And for the parents, it's how to let the coaches be coaches, how to let the kids play the game, and how to be fans.
Great.